Hi, and thank you so much for joining me again for day 26 of 30 Days of Sketches with Christie's Beautiful Life, round 11. And this sketch you can see in the top right hand corner there is by Wende Rasmussen. I'm sorry, Wendy, if I got that pronunciation incorrect. The photo that I'm scrapping today is of my husband and my kids on a brief trip to Florence House in Northern Ireland. We were going to the caves in Enniskillen, and we had a bit of spare time, so we decided to go to a National Trust property there to while away the hours until it was our slot to go and see the caves. So I'm using Fernwood from Vicki Boutin, and I just love this paper. I thought really it's most of the work done for me with all the mixed media on the front. So I've just cut a circle out, and you will have seen I used my 8.5-inch circle template and then just drew a large circle around the edge to create that big arc that we've got going on there. And then I've used my Tim Holtz edge distresser to distress the edges of that circle, and I've stuck it down onto some white cardstock just using double-sided tape and then a little bit of wet glue to glue those very corner bits down. So just trimming off that back edge because I wanted to offset it slightly on the white cardstock, so I had a little bit more white showing so that my photo didn't look too close to the edge of the white. And I stuck it down slightly incorrectly so you can see me just trimming the loose bits off the edges. So this is the photo, and it's just them in the grounds, just together on a sunny day. So just mounting that onto some black and white striped paper, again from the Fernwood collection. I love this paper, and I did consider using this instead of the white cardstock as the background, but it just seemed a little bit too dark for such a beautiful sunny photo, so I changed my mind. So now I'm creating some scallop borders. So just using a pot that I've got in my stash of pearls to create the circles. Just find a circle that you like the size of, draw around that, and then I'm trimming that out. You can see I've drawn obviously on the reverse of the paper. So this is a green striped paper that you will have seen me holding up before, and there it is. And I wanted the stripes to go vertically, so that's why I've done it that way. And now I'm just looking for another piece to do exactly the same again. So I'm going to use this blue ledger paper, which has got the ferns on the back. So once again, just drawing around that same pot and creating these scallops. And there you have it. And that's almost like a shelf for my photo to sit on. So really pleased with how that looks. That's not in the sketch. The sketch has some, it looks like journaling pieces underneath, but I just went a little bit off-piste. And I'm happy with how that came out. So just distressing the edges of that paper that I've matted the photo onto, and then I can get it stuck down with those scallop borders. Again, just I thought I was going to use the distresser tool, but in fact my nails worked better because of all the nooks and crannies when you've got scallops like that. So just getting those into position. I wanted to offset them against one another, so just checking that I'm happy with the positioning. And then cutting out some of these leaves to use as embellishments. And this is the reverse of that main paper that I've used for the background of this layout. And I just love these leaves, so I knew that they would be suitable. Them being standing, looks like they're standing in an orchard. So just cutting a couple out, a red one and a green one. And they will start the embellishment cluster in the bottom right hand corner of the photo. Actually had that red one upside down to start with and then realised. So just seeing on the 6x12 sticker sheet what else I can use, and I see this magnifying glass, and I didn't really want the handle to show, so just tucking that behind the photo and the embellishments. So now coming in with the Sticks to 25mm foam pads, which I use so very often in my videos, to just put this photo down. Again, as is often the case, I wanted this photo to stand proud of everything else and be the focal point, so the foam pads do a great job of that. So using my T-ruler to make sure that's square, and then I can go ahead and stick these scallops down underneath it. Almost got the glue on the wrong side there. And once they're in place, I can mess about with those leaves and that magnifying glass and continue embellishing in this bottom right hand cluster here. So using the leaves to cover that magnifying glass handle, and then popping some foam onto that red leaf to make it stand proud again. I just like the different layers that you get by using foam. So just tucking that neatly underneath the photo. And then seeing what else I can find. So I find this lovely white flower, which I think will act as a nice layer here. And then this lovely piece that goes up the right hand side. So now I want to add some stenciling. So I've got my bundled sage distress oxide here, and this is an old Vicki Boutin stencil. And I like this type of stencil because it's easy to repeat, so I can move it around without ruining the design. So I end up pulling this cluster away so that I can get the stenciling in and around that photo. And applying different pressures just so that you get the different colours from the green ink. And I want to add a little bit in the bottom right hand corner and a little bit in the top right hand corner as well. It's around the photo. So just pulling that photo back a little bit to make sure that it goes underneath. And then adding these bits back in. This is where I see that I want to add a bit at the top. Not too much, just something, just to break it all up and continue the lines. And I want to add a little bit underneath as well, just for continuity. So it doesn't look too blocky, it's just all over the place on that white cardstock. So now coming in with these puffy stickers, adding some gold hearts and stars, and some green ones, and a little pink butterfly as well. Just using up the sprinkly bits that Vicky's great at putting on these puffy sticker sheets. And that's that done. And now I want to work on the title. So the title is going to be Florence House, and I'm using these beautiful Florence stickers from Bella Boulevard. Isn't that appropriate? And I'm using the navy blue because there's plenty of navy blue and blues in the photo. Ross is wearing a blue t-shirt, and obviously you've got the blue sky there, so I think this works really nicely. So just spelling out Florence House there. And then once the title's down, I shall go in with the journaling as it shows in that sketch, just around the arc of that half circle, the semicircle that we've got. So just checking that I'm happy with the positioning. First of all, coming in with some gold splatters, using my gold watercolour ink, or paint I should say, and just focusing on that white space. And now that's done, I can add the journaling. And the journaling simply reads, "A day trip to the caves at Enniskillen. Time to kill meant a trip to this National Trust house." And that just goes all the way around the edge. And then at the top of the photo afterwards, I shall add the date, just so I've got that on the layout, which was the 10th of August 2017. So going back onto the 6x12 sticker sheet just to see what else I can add, and I find this lovely little word phrase that just says "a day like this," which I think works nicely. Another little white flower in that bottom right hand cluster, and then this lovely little circle that just says this. And it was just an impromptu moment, and it was really nice to have some family time together. And that's it. Thank you so much for joining me. I really enjoyed this sketch. Thank you so much, Wendy. And I shall see you tomorrow for the next one. Bye for now.